So it says it's the first comet to buzz the planet in 65 million years, and everyone seems to be celebrating its imminent arrival. Everyone, that is, except Regina Belmont, played by Catherine Mary Stewart from The Last Starfighter, and her younger sister Samantha, played by Kelly Maroney from Chopping Mall, another great fucking movie, by the way.
Oh
Two
yeah,
Valley girls who
she
care
was
more
in it.
about fashion trends than the celestial phenomenon. But upon daybreak, when the girls discover that they're the only residents of Los Angeles who the comet hasn't vaporized or turned into a zombie, they do what all good Valley girls do: they go shopping. But when their day of mauling threatens to become a day of mauling, these
Pun.
gals flee with killer zombies and blood sucking scientists in hot pursuit. So that's the synopsis. I think that pretty much is the synopsis I would have given. So
Okay.
uh, it 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 does what it says on the tin.
Well, I guess my first question was like, you have a ritual around this movie, and like, why?
Why I like it so much,
Um,
or
well, both. It's like the why the ritual, because I don't have that ritual with any movie.
uh,
And then yeah, why you like it?
you're referring to like I watch it like probably once a year or so.
Sure.
Um, yeah, I think I just one thing I just like these kind of movies, but this one's also kind of nostalgic for me because this was one of those that was on every so often on like USA late at night.
Okay. Because I don't
And
remember watching this over at your house.
no, I don't know if you ever did, but it was one of those I remember catching different at different parts. It was never
Yeah.
I never watched it from beginning to end
Like
because I would like sneak downstairs.
I remember the purple lab outfits. Like, I don't remember where it's from, some meme or something. I couldn't find it, but it's like that one guy.
Oh, like you've seen that image somewhere,
Yeah,
yeah.
somewhere.
Um, well, yeah. So it's just kind of the nostalgia thing. Like I always have to watch it late at night because it makes me feel like I did when I would sneak downstairs in the middle of the night when everybody was asleep and start watching TV. And it was almost always movies like this that were playing. So it just kind of encapsulates that whole feeling for me. And I think
I,
that's why I like it so much.
I guess for me it was Babylon 5 or the Tales from the Crypt. Like that, those were
Tales
usually
from Crypt is another one.
that was usually what I was sneaking out of the bedroom to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, Tales from the Crypt was another one that was the same kind of thing, sneaking out in the middle of the night, to watch, and you had to turn it down real low.
Yeah, my parents
Um,
hated those movies or the shows. They were like, it's from Satan.
oh yeah, mine were the same. Yeah, devil stuff, you know,
Yeah,
demons can come through the TV or something.
I never got that mentality, like for that line of reasoning about its worshiping Satan and how that it's like, because if you follow Christian doctrine, it's like God's supposed to protect you from all that anyway. So why do you care? But
Yeah, I don't know. The way it was explained, quote unquote, to me when I was that age was that like you're allowing it in. So I guess even if you're a Christian, like if you allow it into your house, then I don't know. It's like demon vampires or something. You have to allow the shit in,
oh,
and
like
then they can
Dracula.
like, yeah. And I don't know. They had all this weird mythology around it, like the difference between demon possession and demon oppression was whether you were a Christian or not. So a demon can't necessarily possess a Christian, but it can oppress a Christian if you let it in by watching Night of the Comet in the middle of the night, I guess. And then like your life will just spiral out of control and you'll become a drug addict or something. I don't
Trump
know.
will be president.
Or yeah, or a sex pervert, which is like most of the people in my church growing up anyway. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't know. I never understood the mentality either, but we also grew up like right in the middle of the satanic panic era. So I think that had a lot to do with the mindset too.
When we were in high school, I
Of
thought that was more of an 80s thing, but I guess Oklahoma
no, that
just
was
lives in that time forever.
yeah. Oklahoma was behind. Our parents were behind because they were, church types, I think.
Oh, my parents,
But
what is it, Luddites? They think all technology is the devil.
oh yeah,
They've kind of gotten over it after I explained a little bit, but I know getting used to a new phone or whatever can be intimidating.
yeah. Like I do have some sympathy for that. It's just, when they give you shit for not being able to, drive a stick shift or something. That's when I'm like, all right, look, you can't even use your phone. Fuck off. My parents weren't really like that about technology. They were like that about a lot of other stuff, but not really technology. Um,
Yeah, well, I guess your dad was
although,
a doctor and had to keep up with the paperwork at least.
yeah, yeah. Although when the internet came around, though, that was there was a lot of fear mongering about that, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
I
and I remember
remember the
Y2K.
well, it's just the dial-up pictures loading, so
Yeah,
slow.
I remember trying to print off like pictures of naked ladies and shit.
Hmm.
Um, on the printer, and it would take fucking forever, and that printer was loud as fuck, so it was basically like I had to wait until they left
Yeah.
for a long time. I don't know why I bothered, because I knew where my father's Playboy stash was,
Yeah, I
and
found
it
my
was
dad's
it was the
porn too.
90s.
Yeah.
We still had the neighborhood stash out in the woods. But anyway, Night of the Comet. First time watching it, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a B movie. Um, let's see. I guess I did recognize the Deep Space Nine guy, Hector.
Oh, is he from I never watched Deep Space Nine.
Well, this would have been, 15 years before, so, or whatever. I didn't watch it that much either, but I recognized his character. It was, yeah, it took me a minute. And then the lead actress, Regina, it's like,
Yeah,
it's like she looks so familiar, and
Cat.
I think it's because of the Last Starfighter.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause I definitely
probably.
watched that as a kid. But
Which is funny because the most like recognizable person for me in that movie has always been Kelly Maroney. Um, but I think
I,
that's because she's in a lot of like these types of movies. She's in Chopping Mall,
yeah,
which
I
I
didn't
also have.
like. I guess it's been a while since I've seen that. I didn't recognize her.
Oh, so you have seen Chopping Mall then?
I have, but it's been a while,
Okay,
and I was probably wasted.
yeah, that's one of the ways to watch that movie.
Well, yeah, it's like
Um,
B movies in general are usually more fun if you're drinking and
yeah.
with a group.
So were you saying that you don't know if you would classify this as a B movie?
I wouldn't personally. No, it's a little too polished and a little too much money.
Mm-hmm.
But
700,000, I think, was the budget. I
really,
think I could be wrong. I know it was under a million though.
oh wow, Okay.
Yeah. And that's in 1980 whatever money, so whatever that scales up to would be over $1 million, I'm sure. But
I guess
yeah, I think it was around that much. I could be wrong, but
that is still quite a lot of money. But I
yeah,
guess
it is.
in comparing it to, like the big blockbuster movies, it's peanuts.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've gone back and forth on how I classify a B movie. I'm not even sure how to classify a B movie, really. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought primarily it is budget, but maybe not, because I know
Yeah,
like Eraserhead's probably not considered a B movie, and that was, you know, I guess an indie cheap movie probably.
yeah. And then there's a lot of movies that go for like a B movie style, or they're like B movie in spirit,
Yeah,
even if they're not really
Barbie.
a B movie. Did you say Barbie?
I guess that did feel like a B movie, but maybe I don't know.
I guess there's some sensibilities there, like B movie sensibilities or something. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Barbie was not one that came to mind.
I guess it was just maybe uh, what's the like your expectations, or you're expecting something and then it gives you a curveball.
Right, right. I do think the plot sounds like a B movie. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I just categorize it a little wider.
I guess maybe I'm thinking of like those apocalyptic movies, like A Boy and His Dog. It's like I wouldn't consider that a B movie. Um,
I don't know if I ever saw that one.
okay, because it's kind of like Fallout before Fallout was a thing.
Yeah, I I know I've heard of it, and I think like if you were to ask me what that movie's about, I think I would have said some kind of Mad Max apocalyptic kind of thing. But that's about all. I'm like vaguely aware of that movie,
Okay,
so maybe I should watch it.
I like it, but it's kind of well, I don't want to give away the ending. So
Okay.
that's what comes to mind. It's like I go straight for the ending. Otherwise, it's I don't know. It's got a nice charm to it. Just like a guy and his dog just roaming the wasteland, having adventures.
Okay. So yeah, kind of like Fallout.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the better scenarios of Fallout, I guess. With the I don't know if you saw the new miniseries. It's like they got the canine dog with the or the yeah,
I
that's
watched.
the
Are you
breeding
talking about the
the
Fallout
miniseries.
miniseries?
I think it's on Prime. Kyle was
Yeah, I
talking.
watched the very first episode I watched, and I haven't watched any more since.
I think the
Just because I
ghoul
haven't like.
really steals the show. Like all the other characters are kind
Yeah,
of crap. Or
Walton Goggins, I think, usually steals the show when he's on screen. But I'm like a huge Walton Goggins fan, so
I've only seen
that's what made me watch the show.
I think the Shield
Yep,
and
The Shield.
Fallout. And I haven't seen his other works.
Oh man, he's in a ton of stuff. He's in Hateful Eight. That's one of the big notable ones he's in.
I didn't think he stole the show there because I don't know Samuel L. Jackson. It's hard to compete with.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're on screen with Samuel Jackson. Yeah, that's true. Um, maybe not steal the show, but I always notice him when he's on screen because I like him. Um, And
It's
he
kind
just
of
shows
like
up in the most
modern day
random shit
Clint
too.
Eastwood.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know when he's gonna just pop up in something. Even older stuff. I was watching a while back. I was watching this movie Forever Young with Mel Gibson and Jamie Lee Curtis, which is like 1992, I think. And there's a scene with just some random like gate guard at a military base, and it was like a baby Walton Goggins. He had to have been like 19. It's like, holy shit, that's Walton Goggins.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Huh.
I
Yeah,
like actors like that
you gotta start
that just
somewhere.
randomly show up. Yeah, and you realize they've been working for forever. Like
Yeah, like Steve Buscemi.
Dean Dean Norris is one of those. He's Hank from Breaking Bad. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I it's like I was starting watching it with my mom, and she like skipped and watched like 2 or 3 seasons of it. So
Like she was skipping around?
no, it's like we were watching it together, and then she went on a binge and like just left
Oh,
me in
and
the
you fell behind.
dust. Yeah,
Damn, that's not cool. I hate it when people do that if you're watching something together. That's not
I
cool.
didn't care.
Yeah. So you didn't finish it then?
No, I did. It's just
Oh, you did? Okay,
in
so
the middle, I don't really know what happened.
right. So remember Uncle Jack, the Nazi that kills Hank?
I think that's one of the things I missed.
Oh, do you remember Hank getting killed? Spoiler alert, by the way.
Um, yeah, I think that was one of the seasons I missed.
Oh shit, that's like the last season. It's like one of the last episodes of the entire show.
Oh,
Well, anyway, the big
I
bad
mean,
in the
I
last
remember
season.
the little machine gun he mounted in his trunk or whatever. I guess it wasn't manned; it was just
Yes,
automatic.
he did that to take out the Nazis.
Oh, okay.
Like that's who he was going after, and Uncle Jack was the leader of that group. He was Todd's uncle. Uncle Jack is played by the same actor who plays the guy, the projectionist at the beginning of Night of Comet that she fucks at the beginning, and then he
Oh,
gets
okay.
killed by a zombie. It's the same actor. So bringing it back, actors that pop up
Oh, okay. I
everywhere.
thought you were talking about Hank.
He's one of them. No, not Hank. Well, I got to Breaking Bad by talking about Hank because he's another one that pops up
Okay,
everywhere.
you're
But
confusing me. But that was one of the
yeah,
things I
so
noticed is that the women were like skinny supermodel kung fu, like
mhm.
beating people up with the fake elbow, and it was kind of
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, very cheese, very 80s cheese,
Well, I mean,
and
there's plenty of other action movies that do that. Like
hmm
the little tiny girl who, I guess, like Black Widow, it's like Scarlett Johansson is tiny.
yeah,
5'2".
I don't know. I mean, low center of gravity, and if they're fast enough,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I, 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 yeah, I never put much stock in like someone's size as far as danger goes because
Well, usually
you
it's
never really know what.
whoever hits first unawares. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but,
Plus, I mean, people with testicles are just naturally vulnerable in a fight anyway. And I think a lot of movies tend to forget that. But uh, yeah, and then you got the iconic, I think it's iconic image of Kelly Maroney with the Mac 10 in her cheerleader uniform,
yeah, I suppose it
uh,
is.
which was my profile pic for a while.
Yeah, they're talking about their Air Force dad or whatever that would have gotten a better hardware.
Yeah, Dad would have gotten us an Uzi. Yeah,
I don't know why you want to use
yeah.
it.
I mean, I think it'd be better than a Mac 10. I think that's what she had. I'm not. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
But those little machine pistols they're fucking garbage.
yeah, but I guess for a tiny little girl,
Yeah, it's easy to hide. You know, it looks cool, and that's really the most important thing.
yeah.
Obviously, the most important thing in any fight is who looks coolest.
Very
I mean,
true.
that's just the reality of combat, man. It's just how it works.
Yep.
Hmm, not sure what else to cover.
I guess. Hmm. Yeah, the Comet was. I guess it was just there, and it kind of reminded me of the days of COVID, like walking outside and nobody's around.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was going to bring up not necessarily COVID. I'm sure I would have gotten there eventually, but uh I've always had sort of a weakness for movies or TV or whatever that shows like the empty city. Not even a destroyed city, just emptiness. And
Yeah,
that kind of liminal space quality. I'm a sucker for that shit. Um
yeah, I did find surprising some of those shots that were like of skyscrapers, and there was literally nobody in the windows. I was expecting, people to run the shot, especially
yeah.
because a lot of those VHS tapes, they take shortcuts because of when you upscale it to Blu-ray, you got the sticks all
Yeah,
wrong.
you can see things you
The
couldn't see
wire.
before. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Um
they did a good job of that.
Yeah, they did, and I think that's another thing that I've always loved about that movie is just that weird feeling. My favorite sequences in the movie is just her riding around on the motorcycle through the empty streets,
Yeah.
and it looks fucking great. Um,
And then there's
I think I read,
DMK.
or
Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted
uh,
to. DMK,
yeah,
like,
yeah, the guy at the end,
well, yeah, but at the beginning he had his initials in the.
right?
But there was also a video game. I don't know if you remember this. It was MDK.
Don't remember that.
As
When
by,
was that?
I guess it was in the 2000s. So maybe it was. No, there was a first and second one. I think it was the late 90s, but it was like Earthworm Jim. You remember that?
I remember that one. Yeah.
It was the same company. They did.
Oh,
It was a platforming 3D with this like guy in a latex suit with a gun on his face. It was really surreal, kind of like Earthworm Jim. Yeah, it was like that guy, Doc,
hmm.
some weird old doctor, and then a dog. And their initials were NDK.
Don't
Anyway,
remember that at all. It might be one of those where if I saw an image of it, it all come flooding back, you know.
um,
Uh, but yeah,
yeah.
that whole bit about her getting mad at the ranking on the video game and like who
It didn't
is
even work.
MDK or
Right.
DMK,
Huh?
huh?
Well, it's like when she knocked him off, it was like she knocked off the number 6 thing. It like didn't go down one. Like she would have had to been playing that for a while. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't catch that.
I
But
guess
I feel like that bit is referenced, I think, in Stranger Things. They're referencing that bit.
probably.
Um, when
That's all it is.
Mad Max,
Reference.
huh? Yeah, it's all 80s references, but I think that's one of them is from this movie where they're mad and they don't know who Mad Max is until she shows up at school. But they see her, she had bumped them back on the rankings on an arcade game, and it plays out kind of the same way. So,
When's the next season of that supposed to come out? It's been a while.
man, I don't know. I feel like, I guess COVID fucked up a lot for them, and they talked about
I know all the kids are
this
probably
year.
too old now.
Yeah, they're basically adults now,
Yeah.
and maybe they'll do like a flash forward or something,
Yeah.
or I don't know. Maybe there was problems with post production and it's all
Right.
already been filmed.
They could do like it, where it's like 20 years later.
Yeah. Well, the thing with it, I mean, even chapter 2, they flashed back and showed the kids, unless they completely split it up. But yeah, they might just do a flash forward and have them, yeah, this is 10 years later or whatever it is. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Or maybe they'll just abandon it. Who knows?
Yeah. I guess I don't keep up with it. I don't really. It's like the first season was really all it needed. Kind of like the same with Westworld, like the HBO series. They didn't really need to
Yeah.
make any more. They're just.
I think I only watched the first season of Westworld. Stranger Things, though, I love Stranger Things. I think season 3 was probably my favorite. So I'm glad they kept going because
Yeah,
I liked season 3 the best. So
it's fun to just, you know, I guess, disappear and go into another alternate universe for a little while.
yeah, it's a good popcorn show.
Yeah.
And of course, all the 80s references and, you know, to stuff like Night of the Comet, Evil Dead, stuff like that.
Let's see. I did write some other stuff down, but oh, I guess the only other thing I missed was the music. Like it was all a cover band, or
Yeah, like you've got the Girls Just Want to Have Fun cover.
right.
Um, which, I mean, it's a fine cover, but it's so obviously a cover that it kind of makes it funny to me.
My memory is bad enough. I was, is it a cover? Is it?
Yeah, it was a cover. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, it took me to the credits, and I had to watch and confirm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like the soundtrack. I mean, it feels very generic '80s. Like all the music to me feels like a memory of the '80s. You know?
I guess the other thing is there's this anime I watched a couple months ago, or like a month ago, called California Crisis. But it was,
Never heard of it.
it reminded me of heavy metal with that ball, alien ball that flips around. But
Yep, I
it's like
remember
a
heavy metal.
straight 80s, like car chase, fun anime. So,
Okay. Yeah, Heavy Metal 2000. That was one we watched at some point. I remember watching that with you. I don't know if we watched both of them, but I do remember watching a Heavy Metal 2000. I think that's what it's called, right? The newer one.
Yeah, it was, but it's like so forgettable. Like I don't
Yeah.
really remember that one. Like the first one was so much better.
Yeah, agreed. Um, I think the reason I didn't forget is just because, I don't know, something about it stood out. Maybe it was like some, I don't know. I remember watching it with you at some point.
I remember the cover more than I remember the movie itself.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like I like the magazines, or kind of. Like they were kind of gross, but I guess in a Mad TV or Mad magazine kind of way.
hmm I remember a lot of magazines that you had, like Bizarre, I think was one of them. You always had a copy of that. And then I remember I think it was called Skin 2.
Yeah,
You remember that magazine?
I do, but it's like I guess I must have hid those from my parents because I'm pretty sure they would have burned in the backyard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because what that was like, wasn't that like a latex fetish magazine or something?
Skin 2, yes. Bizarre
Yeah,
had,
we can cut this out. We can cut this out if I'm putting you on blast.
I don't care.
Uh,
I still have
yeah,
those.
I remember. You still have those? Those might. I don't know if they're worth something. I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding like a boomer. Like, oh, that might be worth something. I don't
Well, I
know. I
mean,
just, for some reason, I always
people's
remember those.
memories and like I guess referencing artwork to like
Yeah.
drawing and all that.